I'm alive! So, Trying Worlds did not fix my computer. I actually had to go out and buy a brand new computer to play Archeage again because I just can't handle not being able to record videos and play on a crappy piece of shit laptop. So here we are again. Got a new computer, able to actually run quite a few games. I've got 3 games running in the background now. So very cool, a little bit more powerful and just strictly gaming computer here. So talking about making money on Morpheus and Rangora, and there's a lot of things that you could do to make money on these servers in the long run. And this is not going to be instant money. Obviously, when the video hits, these things are going to spike up in value because people are going to invest in them. So as you can see, we have Mysterious Garden Powder up on the screen here right now. And this is at almost the NPC sell value right here. You can see 10 and it's selling for 12, 15. Like that right there, you can't lose on these. And what this whole video is about is buying things that no one really wants at this time. So Morpheus and Rangora are still a very brand new server. For the most part, they've only been out here a little over 2 weeks now. So a lot of high-end materials and high-end things are not needed right now. People just don't, they're not high enough level for one. They don't have the money or the resources and they're building on other things. So like garden powder is used for a lot of high-end things. Delphinad stuff comes to mind. Ionide stuff comes to mind as well. So the tanks, siege tanks come to mind. So we can pull up a little list of what they're actually used for. And so I'll give it a little break there. I'll buy up to 23, and then I'll let it refresh and let others potentially pick up some of the, mysterious garden powders. When they're like this, I like to go ahead and pick and choose out the larger quantities. I don't like wasting the time buying, the single stacks. So here's one that's got 20, so I'll go ahead and buy that. And then this also keeps the price down. So leaving the single stack ones, the price still appears to be very cheap, although we went ahead and cleaned out all of the actual like large quantity. There's really only just stacks of ones right there. So real quick at looking at what the garden powder is used for. So you need it for the Pioneers Archeage IM pack, which I believe this is the Pirates pack. If not, it's used for one of the trade run things up in Aurora. So that is not there. So it's used for Sunridge Ignites, which again, most people aren't up at this level yet. These things are used for high-end materials like the tank cannon, the solid shafts, glider materials, and Delphinad stuff. So it's used for high-end things, and I mean, it takes 5 at a time, so that's a good chunk out of them. And the drop rate in the coin purses isn't that big. I mean, these things don't come out very often. As you saw there was only a total of around, 50 or 60 on the auction house, at this time. So then some of the other stuff that it is used for, Rising Stone Brick, which again, not really used for many things. Used for this trade pack right here. It's used for the leather, which again is used for the high-end Delphinad gear. It's also used for the cars, the race cars. So all the high-end, really cool stuff that you kind of need in Archeage uses this garden powder. So, eventually, maybe in a month, 2 months, when the server population gets a little bit higher end and is going more for the fun stuff rather than just actually trying to gear up at this point of the server's life, then these things like Mysterious Garden Powder will increase in value. It's almost guaranteed. It can't go any lower than 10 silver. So if it's at 15 silver right now, it's almost impossible to go lower. One of the other things that is really valuable and that has actually already spiked up was the Irradiant Archeum trees. So the Radiant Archeum trees were used for Aurora, and they've jumped up from the NPC sell value of 50, and now they're at 54. You may not think that's a pretty big deal, but as people start building and planting up in Aurora, they're going to be planting a ton of these because these are making just bank. Like They just have dropped down the Moonlight Archeum crystals down to almost 2G occasionally here and there, hovering right around 3G. And it's also brought down the Sunlight Archeum crystals pretty significant. I think they're around 8s. So those trees, they drop very commonly, but there's just so many people can plant and just grow them. And so they were at the NPC sell value of 50 silver. So you can't lose when you buy them for 50 silver. I bought 400, 500 of them. You cannot lose because at worst case scenario, you just sell them to the NPC to get your entire 50 silver back. At best case scenario, you gain some profit by selling them to other players once the value rises. And right now we may be seeing the Archeum, the Radiant Archeum trees value rising. Same thing with the regrade Brazers. So regrade Brazers are probably still right around 50 silver. Yeah, you can see they're still 50 silver. So you can pick some of these up if you have some spare coin, and you literally cannot lose on these things. So you could sell it to the NPC for 33 gold. And if you buy this, it's 33.66. The person that's listing this is actually losing 5% on the sale because that's how much the auction house takes on this cut. So he would have actually made more money by selling it straight to the NPC rather than actually selling it on the auction house. So there's some really stupid people out there that list things for the NPC sell value, and again, they lose 5% on the value. The only reason that you would potentially want to do this is list it is to raise up your commerce proficiency. But really, if you want to do that, there's other ways to do it without actually losing money on the transaction. So we can go ahead and buy some of these up, even though I don't think these are really going to go up in value, but it's better to have some than to not have any at all, just in case it does go up in value. Because again, you can't lose. I mean, all these, I really can't lose. I can lose a couple copper, like 10 copper on this transaction here. Like, and it's funny because like you can't even bid on it. They won't let you bid because they'll be like, exceed the bid value. Oh, actually, let me did bid. Huh. Wow. But yeah, so those things you cannot use right now, really. And they pretty much can't go any lower. Glowing Prism is another thing. It's very cheap. NPC sell value is 10 silver. These are at 33 silver right now. Some of the other things is the Lunarites. So these guys at 3 silver, really, really cheap right here. You can see there's only a couple at 3 silver. The most are around 10. And then some of the bigger ones. So the bigger ones, they're coming out of the cash out boxes right now. The Superior Fire Lunarites, and then also the next tier. So these ones are actually pretty cheap. You can see it's my bid right here. I'm bidding it, and I'm trying to get it for 3 silver because that's the NPC sell value. And no one else really wants these right now because they're not at that level of where they need to socket their gear. So there's pretty much, no way that these are going to go lower. They may go lower in the foreseeing future. They may go down to like 25 silver or 30 silver when people are buying cash out boxes and throwing it up there. But in about a month, there's no way that they're going to be at 49 silver. There's absolutely no way in a month's time that these guys are going to be 49 silver. They're going to be a lot higher. And you can see here's a whole bunch on here. You can see they're already here, 136. That's about more reasonable the price that they're going to be at in about a month. We also have these right here, the Fine Fire ones. Again, these, there's no way that these are going to be at 349 in 1 month. No one is again socketing things, so they're not needing these guys. And when you don't need them, the value of them goes down. There's very little demand for them, so only people that are buying them are investing, or really, really high-end players that have already just maxed out everything. The Visa and MasterCard players who already have full Delphinad sets, or Obsidian Tier 5, Tier 6 sets already because they're insane and they spent thousands upon thousands of dollars. Those are the only players that are actually at the socketing level in the game. And then there's also, the prestige socketing gems now, which are going to decrease these values just a little bit. But these things still are extremely rare in the coin purses. And they do come out of the RNG boxes. They come out of the cash shop. But still, even so, they're not that plentiful in the cash shop. You do need 10 every time that you go ahead and socket and make one of those Luna gems. So those things are a great thing to stock up on. Those are some great tips for you guys. Do you have anything else you want to share potentially with your speculations? Put them down in the comment section. And I am so happy that I have a computer again that can record and play Archeage.